everybody, I'm Lisa Faye, and today I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to make 3 different versions of these pouches using different techniques. These are just little makeup pouches, little pencil cases, whatever you want to call them. They're little canvas bags that I got on Amazon in bulk, and I got them in 3 different colors: black, gray, and tan. And I'm going to show you 3 different ideas on how you can personalize them. They make a great gift. This video is part of my Christmas DIY Easy Craft series here on YouTube, so please check out my other videos. All of these crafts are easy to make. You don't need to have a whole lot of artistic ability to complete them successfully, and they're also very budget friendly. So I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you can embellish these today, and of course you're not limited to these, but these are just 3 easy examples. So the first one would be using embroidery transfers, iron-on transfers, and ink paints and fabric medium to paint a design on the side of the bag. Then also we're going to do a piece of fabric and just adhering it as kind of an applique on the side of this. And this is a great variation for guys. It's hard to find like DIY stuff to make as gifts for guys. And then I'm also going to cover using hot fix rhinestones in order to adhere rhinestones to the side. And there's 2 different methods to do this with. You'll find affiliate links to the different items you'll need in the description box for this video. I'll be donating a portion of any proceeds from affiliate link sales to National Food Bank Feeding America, as well as my local food bank, Second Harvest of Silicon Valley. There are so many great iron-on transfers out there, but for this example, I'm using this Garden Flowers book of transfers. You want to look for transfers that are going to fit on your surface, but also be easy to color in and not be too complex. Here are the canvas bags that we'll be using. I managed to get a multi-pack of them from Amazon. The white ones will be easiest, of course, to do the more complex patterns on and painting, and the black and gray are best for rhinestones or anything that'll really pop. You can also do appliques on the darker colors as well. And here are the selection of flat back hot fix rhinestones I use and the tool that I use to apply them with. These are Derwent Inktense products. I love them. They are so great. They are well worth the price. They come in pencil, block, and sort of a watercolor palette form. And you can tell that I've used these a lot. They're well loved. The palette one here, I'm taking it out for the first time, used it for the first time. Oh, it was so much fun to use. These are really an investment type of piece, but you can do so much. Take your iron and ironing board, put a piece of cardboard inside of your pouch. You don't want the color to transfer to the other side. Very carefully press down. Do not use any steam or water, and really just let the transfer to the fabric. You have 1 shot to do this correctly. You can see that on this one I blew it. I moved the transfer just a tiny bit as I was pressing it, and it was unusable. So I had to actually throw that pouch away. Here we go. I am mixing some paints here. I basically just use a tiny bit of water. I use mostly the fabric medium in order to get the color from the blocks. And I just take my paintbrush, I use a really small paintbrush, and kind of mix the color together in my palette. Really just play around with it. It's something where if you're used to painting, this should be second nature to you. Personally, I don't paint a whole lot. This is really the extent of my painting. And even for me, it's something that I can handle. The fabric medium is what you want to use to really grab your color from the blocks and mix your color. If you want to do one color for multiple different regions within your pattern of what you're painting, I would suggest mixing a larger quantity of whatever color you want first. That way it comes out consistent. So right here you can see I'm mixing a larger quantity of the pink color. It's sort of a fuchsia. So I want to make sure I have enough to cover all of the flowers that I'm doing. So I kind of just grab some of the fabric medium, then some of the color, then a little bit of water, then back to the fabric or the color block, and then back to the fabric medium, and then mix it all together. Then I just fill in. It's sort of a paint by numbers type of coloring book concept. Really easy to do. If you can paint or color between the lines, you can do this. And like I said, you're not limited to just using an iron-on embroidery transfer. For me personally, since I can't draw and I can't paint freehand, the iron-on embroidery transfer is a lifesaver. That is really the only way I'm able to pull off a project like this. So I'm going to continue and just do multiple flowers in this same dark shade. I decided then that I was going to dilute the shade down a little bit because I didn't want all of the flowers to be exactly the same color. I wanted them to be, some of them a little bit darker, some of them a little bit lighter. So I diluted it down to do this color flower. It's not that much different, but it's a little bit different, a little bit lighter. One thing I would like to stress is that you don't have to be perfect on this. If you don't get things exactly perfect, that's okay. If you go a little bit outside of the line, that's all right. There is a little bit of room for error. And at the end of the day, it's all art. And you have to remember that art is expression. Like, it's not supposed to be absolutely 100% perfect. So coming back after the whole thing is dried, I take my extra fine point Sharpie and I outline everything. I'm basically just tracing over the iron-on transfer lines, which are a little bit visible by the time you use the paint over them. It's enough to use as a guide, but it's just not strong enough of a definition for the finished product, which is why you have to go over with the Sharpie. Once again, you do this after the entire process is complete and all of the paint has dried. Prior to this step, I also like to go in with an iron one more time and just sort of heat set the design. Just press it for, I don't know, about 20 seconds or so, and just get the heat in there to really get the color on the fabric. Here's another variation. This is sort of an applique of a portion of fabric. So this is a piece of Vegas Golden Knights hockey fabric that I had, and I'm just going to make this sort of into a little applique that I can just glue onto the pouch. You can also embroider it on or sew it on if you want, but in the interest of time and ease, I decided to just use some fabric glue. So I iron the hem on the back and then just use some fabric glue to adhere it onto the surface. You want to make sure that you have a piece of cardboard on the inside of the pouch, of course, and use enough glue so it adheres properly. This is a great variation on this, so it turns it kind of into a pencil pouch instead of a makeup pouch. And this is a good option for making this into a gift for guys. I mean, guys have things they need to carry too, right? Another idea for decorating these pouches is to apply rhinestones. For this, I used a white pencil to trace a name on the pouch. I put a piece of cardboard on the inside, and then I used my hot fix tool, which is sort of like a pen. It's kind of a cross between like a pen and a wood burning tool. And I use the flat tip on it. It comes with multiple tips, and I just use the flat tip. It's the easiest for me. And this video is sped up, of course, but it takes about 15 seconds per stone of applying the heat to it in order to melt the glue backing and adhere it to the fabric. So here I'm just taking individually, one by one, my rhinestones, placing them on top of the traced pencil design, and then using my tool to melt the backing and adhere the rhinestones to the fabric. You can also use regular rhinestones and not hot fix rhinestones and use glue with them and not have to use the hot fix tool. For me personally, I've adhered thousands and thousands of rhinestones using this tool, and it is my preferred method. I really just find using adhesives to be a little bit messy and frustrating for me. So I really like the hot fix tool, even though it's time consuming. I figure using glue is time consuming as well. Another option is to just use an iron and to put all of the rhinestones down all at once, and then to just go in on top, no steam, no water at all, just with a dry iron, and set it down very, very carefully. And I find that this works better with larger rhinestones and not small rhinestones like what I'm using for this DIY. You do have to be very careful when you're attempting to do a whole bunch of rhinestones all at the same time, because it's really easy to mess it up. When you're gifting these makeup bags, a great idea would be to fill them with some products. Here I'm adding some of my favorite products from Hand Skincare Cosmetics. Not only are they healthy and natural, but they are budget-friendly, clean beauty as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out my other videos and please subscribe. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.